What's up, guys? Keith Kelfis with the Untrapped podcast. I got Paul Jamison on the show and his book, Cut That Grass and Make That Cash. You got a new book that just came out, but your podcast has exploded, bro. You're all over the place. Green Industry Podcast. Paul Jamison, what's up, bro?
What's up, Keith?
Man, I'm excited to have you on here. So what's going on? Why you got that big smile?
I just like hanging out with you, man. You made me laugh earlier. It's
All the time.
contagious.
What was so funny?
Well, you just made me laugh when we were talking off air.
Ah, nice. Yeah. I kind of like it. You got it all nice and bright. Mine's all dark. If you're watching this on the Keith Kelfis YouTube channel or listening on the pot, basically we're on video too. And now you've started doing video as well. So do you got a YouTube channel or is it your same YouTube channel? Where are you uploading?
I got 2 YouTube channels. So I have it, my entertainment YouTube channel. It's just my name, Paul Jamison. And I'm out there mowing tall grass these days, Keith, on that channel.
Nice.
And it's fun. And then the Green Industry Podcast with Paul Jamison, that's where we're putting all the video interviews and what Joe Rogan does, what Oprah did. You mentioned Ellen earlier on my show. They're all in-person interviews. So my goal is to do 100% in person as soon as possible, whether I have people flying into Atlanta or I'm going out on the road on podcasts. But for now, like you shared on my show, you got to kind of take what you get at the moment, and I'm virtual for some of them. But yeah, the video interviews and the audio are out there.
Love it. Paul Jamison. Okay. And also on Instagram, let's get all this out of the way. Where can people find your podcast? And because you have to listen to Paul. Like your intentionality is so. Where again?
At Green Industry Podcast. That's my Instagram handle. And I'm on TikTok now, which actually TikTok has more monthly viewers than YouTube. They just passed YouTube. TikTok does. So I'm on TikTok at Paul Jamison.
That's powerful news.
Where the most eyeballs are.
And you now, I mean, I already knew it was obvious to me, and I'm not trying to ask you to toot your own horn or anything, but you're probably the biggest podcast in the green industry and growing month after month.
Yeah, statistically, it's the most downloaded podcast in the green industry. And I know Brian, if you're listening, he gets so mad at me. We're always screenshotting back and forth, and he's like, "Congratulations!" He's probably punching the wall. But yeah, we go back and forth. And Brian's one of my best buds, and we're openly screenshotting our stats. And we share the same producer, Mr. Producer, so he knows both our numbers too.
Mr. Producer, that guy's a brilliant guy, and he's very talented as well. I like him. He's got a good heart too. So yeah. I haven't met him in person, but if you don't know, he's the guy. If you listen to Paul's podcast, he's the one with the radio announcer voice.
Yep.
And now here's Paul.
Yeah, he's awesome. He was my boss. You've been to the radio station I used to work at. He was actually he was the assistant general manager. He was my boss essentially back in the day. And then when I transitioned from there, I asked him if he could help me with my podcast, because what was happening was as people were listening on their mowers, they couldn't hear it. It wasn't loud enough. And so he was able to master it so it still had the quality, but it was loud. And then the rest history. Brian hired him, and then Caleb Allman hired him, and now a bunch of people. He actually has a job in Silicon Valley for a big company as well, doing their podcast.
Man, that's awesome. So in today's day and age, you can have your dream. You can do a day business and have another side hustle. You can have multiple businesses. There's so much stuff you can do. That was part of my next question is you are in every way a professional radio show host, personality, announcer, and you cross-pollinated with landscaping. And it was like you're a believer and you talk about Christ, and boom, you just had this feeling to go full time. So you had an actual lawn care landscaping business. Can you talk about that transition and how your podcast took off? And
yeah, absolutely. So I actually started the lawn care business in 2011 with no business knowledge. I was broke, busted, and disgusted. You had similar humble beginnings. Mm-hmm. And out of pure desperation, I started, the mortgage payment was $928 a month. So I'm like, I have to scrape together $928 a month just to pay my mortgage. And then, all the other bills I had. So I was out there mowing, edging, trimming, blowing, working like a dog from the beginning of the morning till we call it dark 30, it'd be dark and I'm still out there working, and I could barely make ends meet. And so I was working so hard in lawn care landscaping, 2011, 2012, 2013. And then I started going on YouTube because I was working at the radio station in 2013 and 14. They put me on the overnight shift from midnight to 6 a.m. So I typed in lawn care into YouTube, and I'm giving you the full loop here, so just bear with me. But I started watching this guy named Geek the Freak, Greg Chisholm, and he'd be out there mowing these $25 lawns and doing voiceovers. And I was like, dude, this is crazy. You know, I was learning so much. And then the suggested videos in the right-hand side of old school YouTube, it would say, you may also like, and then this Keith Kalfas guy gets in there, and lawn care rookie. And this kid, when I say kid, he hadn't even gone through puberty yet, B&B lawn care. So I started watching you guys in 2013, 2014, making the same exact mistakes as everybody, but I'm learning. I'm watching these YouTube videos. Like I paid more attention watching these YouTube videos than I did in high school. Like I was on the edge of my seat, learning this information, growing my lawn care business, growing my landscaping business. And I share all that just to say, I relate to the guys who are just starting, because most of us don't charge enough. We do everything raggedy starting out because you just don't know. Like you share, we have an employee mindset. Now all of a sudden we're an owner of a business. So I was growing my business and turned the corner 2014, 15, 16. Things started changing and I started getting better clients and charging more and running with efficiency. And the business was going well and exploding in 2017, 18. I was doing the head coach of Atlanta Falcons, the captain of Atlanta Falcons. Like I had high-end customers that were great. And I'm in my buddy Brian Ring. I was in Minnesota in August of 2018. And he had given me a 48-inch mower and a trailer, and I was spending some time with him in Minnesota. And I had to drive the trailer and the mower that he gave me back to Atlanta. So it was a hot summer morning in Minnesota. I wake up in the morning in Minnesota. I drive through Wisconsin. I drive through Atlanta, and my life changed. Pardon me, Atlanta. On my way to Atlanta, I drove through Illinois, and my life forever changed on this August day in 2018. I'm not in Chicago area anymore. I'm like in the middle of Illinois. It's nothing. It's stuff like cornfields.